Okay, probability examples 12 and 13, and we're going to talk about conditional probability a little bit more and formalize our notation. The probability that event B occurs, given that event A has happened, is called conditional probability of B given A. So we talked about this a little bit earlier on the previous video. So probability of B given A. And it's read just as I said, probability of B given A. So remember what we've said in conditional probability, the number of outcomes will be changed. So example 12, you draw a single card from a standard deck. Find each of the following. So we're looking for the probability that the card is a queen given it's a face card. So given it's a face card. Well, there are 12 face cards. How many queens do we have? 4. Okay, let's go ahead and reduce that. All right, what's the probability that a card is red given it's a spade? Well, we have 13 spades, and in the standard deck they are all black. So how many of those black cards would be red? None of them. So that is an impossible event. It's 0. Okay, C, what's the probability that the card is a 5 given it is not a face card? All right, so there are 12 face cards. 52 minus 12 is 40. So we have 40 cards that are not face cards. So how many of those would be 5s? Well, we have a 5 of each and every suit. So we have 4 5s. And then that reduces to 1/10. All right, D, what's the probability that the card is a face card given it was a king? Well, how many kings are there? There's 4 of them. How many of those kings are face cards? Well, of all the 4 kings, all 4 of them are face cards. So that simplifies to 1. Okay, let's go back to the survey again. And remember that if it's a conditional probability, it will change the number of outcomes. So you'll look at the notation. Problems A, C, and D are conditional probability. Problem B is not, so let's pay attention. So what's the probability that the survey respondent was Republican given they thought Congress was doing a good job? Okay, so it's going to be out of this 210 right here, okay? So we need to be careful. Remember that the number of outcomes have changed. It's all in reference to Congress. They think Congress is doing a good job. So recall then that we're just looking at the people in this particular category, the respondents. So of the people in the group that thought Congress was doing a good job, how many of them were Republican? 102. So you're not going to use that 174 down there, okay? It's just the people in the category that thought Congress was doing a good job. Let's go ahead and reduce that. Okay, so remember how on the next one we said that that's not a conditional probability. It's just the probability that the respondent to the survey was independent. Well, that's not going to change our number of outcomes, is it? It's going to be the total 454. How many of them were independent? Total of 118. And all we'll have to do with that now is reduce. So hopefully you'll see the difference there between conditional probability. The other, so C, what's the probability that the respondent was Democrat given they thought that Congress was not doing a good job? So we are going to look at the category that Congress is not doing a good job. So remember how that changes our number of outcomes. So this time it'll be out of 244. So in that category, how many of those respondents were Democrats? 97. And I believe that doesn't reduce. Let me check that again. I don't think it does. All right, yeah, we're good. All right, a lot of students will say, well, C and D are exactly the same thing. Are they, though? I don't think they are. So remember, the condition is going to change the number of outcomes. So in this case, we're looking at the category of Democrats. So let's look at that. I really should have chosen a different color of ink, but I think we'll all live through it. So there are a total of 162 Democrats. Of those Democrats, how many people think Congress isn't doing a good job? Well, 97. So I think you see that these are different questions.